LTTV, Blunt Talk with LT, back at it with another video. All right, let's get straight into this one.
Okay, but we can't do that with people running away like Deion Sanders. That was a cowardly move. He was wrong.
How many did you say Deion get?
50,000.
And how much for Shannon Sharp?
Shannon keep cooning. Shannon gonna get about 100 by now.
Goodness,
Stephen
okay.
A getting about 50,000. Candace Owens needs about 250,000 lashes. She out there doing documentaries on Black Lives Matter, which is appropriate because they were wrong for misappropriating that money. But where's Candace Owens' documentary on the Brett Favre situation or the Jerry Jones situation? My disagreement with my sister is she's letting white folks finance her to embarrass her people publicly. No black person should do that.
This past week, they brought him to New York to face terrorism charges. Tonight, those at the heart of Operation Relentless, a sting that spanned 3 continents, tell the story behind it for the first time.
Viktor Bout, in my eyes, is one of the most dangerous men on the face of the earth.
On the face of the earth.
Without a doubt. AK-47s, not by the thousands, but by the tens of thousands.
So he weaponizes civil war in Africa.
He transformed these young adolescent warriors into insidious, mindless, maniacally driven killing machines that operated with assembly line efficiencies.
Has indicted him on 4 terror-related charges, including conspiracy to kill Americans. What makes him a threat to the United States?
He is a shadow facilitator. He's arming not only designated terrorist groups, insurgent groups, but he's also arming very powerful drug trafficking cartels around the globe.
This is the Lord of War, the merchant of death.
Right.
And you've got him in your hands.
Right, he's in custody. It's a great feeling.
All right, so this is the tweet that set everybody off. Candace Owens tweeted, trading a top Russian arms dealer for a pot-smoking female basketball player is peak Western leftist philosophy. Incomprehensibly stupid from a political standpoint. But as long as it makes people feel warm and fuzzy, why not? Now, we're going to cover a couple of different standpoints and perspectives here. We're going to listen to Candace Owens fully expound on her point. We're going to listen to First Take, and can't remember the lady's name who speaks her perspective on it. And we've already heard the pro-black standpoint from Umar Johnson. But let's get into this now. We got some statements from people on, I believe this is the Shade Room. Kami Crawford from, what is it? God damn it, I'm struggling today. What's going on? Catfish, there we go. Kami Crawford from Catfish says, this is why her hair don't grow. So she's taking shots at her hair instead of the argument. And then you see people cooking her in the comment section. We got a lot more. Someone said she's not wrong, but that girl needed to come home. Someone said we should have traded you. And then y'all can get into
Moving
these
on,
comments.
you guys, to a happier story. And by happier, I mean sadder. That's what I meant by happier. But it's funny. At least it's funny in a sad way. But I'm sure you guys have been following the Brittney Griner story. She's a WNBA player. And she got caught with cannabis cartridges going into Russia. That's a big no-no. It's Russia. And she was sentenced to prison there. And obviously this caused an uproar because how could a WNBA player who just wanted to smoke a little pot be sentenced to a sweatshop in Russia? And by the way, I have been vocal. I thought the punishment was extreme for the crime, right? I'm not one of these people that's like, oh no, lock away every single person that has a cartridge of marijuana on them. I think what she did was stupid, and she's anti-American, and she's constantly commenting on America. But at the same time, I think that this sentence was also extreme. So I am in the middle of this. She's now been released in a prisoner swap, which is just the most ridiculous I've ever heard. They swapped Brittney Griner for a merchant of death arms dealer, Viktor Bout, a Russian merchant of death. That's what he's called, arms dealer. So I'm just trying to picture Putin getting this phone call because it's just so ridiculous. Ring, ring, ring.
I think the most people that are outraged at the fact that we still have troops locked, or I'm saying we, I'm Canadian.
Oh, shut up, nigga.
America still has troops in Russia locked up, and we prioritize, I said we again.
Oh, shut up, nigga.
they prioritized getting back a WNBA player who hasn't been there for a fraction of the time, who was actually guilty of a crime carrying an illegal substance in Russia. So people are outraged. Like, that's un-American, unpatriotic to leave the troops in Russia, trading Viktor Bout for God damn it, what's this girl's name? Yo, what is with the struggles today? Yo, Brittney Griner. Trading for Brittney Griner is being said or being lauded as a very lopsided trade. There's many trends or threads on Twitter where people are making fun of it, saying, making examples of NBA trades as lopsided as this trade. People are having fun with it, but at the end of the day, it's good that she's home. It is good that she's home, but Candace Owens may be onto something. Let's listen to what she has to say here.
Mr. Putin, America is on the line, and they are very sad that you're keeping Brittney. I do not care. I do not care. We're keeping her. Just ridiculous. She's smoking pot. This is a very bad Russian accent, but let's go with this, right? Okay, America's on the phone again, and they're very, very sad. They say they're super sad that you have her. What is he calling me about the emotions of the Americans? I don't care about the emotions of the Americans. Okay, well, the activists in America say they're super de-duper sad, and they're wanting to know if they gave you your arms dealer, who is referred to as the merchant of death.
Now, many people in the media were specifically told not to make a big stink out of Brittney Griner's case in Russia because they didn't want to sell Russia, the American outrage, and make them believe that they're sad so they have leverage in negotiating power, because they were trying to get some troops over. I'm sure Biden wasn't trying to do a 1-for-1. The outrage wasn't that heavy for Brittney Griner. It wasn't news story. It wasn't like plastered in people's face, annoying people, like putting this as the top storyline for everything. It wasn't one of those type of stories. It was largely shoved under the rug until they could actually do something about it. Then it got brought back up. The initial outrage was kept on the hush-hush low-key because they didn't want to give them that type of leverage. But they still went through with the trade. Let's get it. What are y'all saying in the comment section? All right, shout out to you, Tim Simmons and whoever else is in there.
Would you give them back their pot-smoking WNBA player? Is this a prank? No, it's just Western philosophy. It's just America. So they want to feel good. So if you can just please give them their openly lesbian pot-smoking basketball player, they will give you back your merchant of death. Because, I don't know, it's America and it's 2022. And so this makes sense in 2022, where everything is rainbows and sprinkles and it's all about how we feel, not the practicality of what's taking place, which is that nowhere ever in the history of the world would any sane individual say it's a good idea to swap somebody that is entitled to merchant of death and is an arms dealer for a possible WNBA player. Two things can be true at once. Her sentence was harsh, but also, if we're going to get her back, it shouldn't come at this cost, right? That's the answer here. And just in case you didn't realize how patently ridiculous the toddlers and tiaras that are running our nation are, Joe Biden, who can barely speak at this point, had these words to share about Brittney Griner's release.
Brittney is an incomparable athlete.
Okay, let's stop right there. I'm sorry. Did he just say Brittney is an incomparable athlete? Who wrote this? What are we talking? It's the WNBA. There's no such thing as an incomparable athlete in the WNBA. It's WNBA. So for all three of my...
All right, so the WNBA definitely doesn't make much money in America. So she is right in that regard. But Brittney Griner is she makes millions in Russia, and she is like one of the best bigs in all of women's basketball, 2-time gold medalist. The women's basketball and U.S. is doing better globally than the men's right now. Like in relation to the competition, because a lot of the men don't even go out. When's the last time you've seen the stacked team like LeBron, KD, Steph, all of them playing at the same time? They don't do that. So their ranking is kind of dropping. The women are kind of holding up the standard. But let's get back into it.
Listeners who watch the WNBA religiously, I'm going to have to assume that there are some athletes that we can, in fact, compare to Brittney Griner. all of them probably can be compared to Brittney Griner, because probably a high school male basketball team could defeat the WNBA. I don't mean that to be insulting. It's just a ridiculous statement to say that she is incomparable as an athlete. But go ahead, Biden. Let's see if you can stick in some more ridiculousness.
Brittney is an incomparable athlete, a two-time Olympic gold medalist for Team USA. She endured mistreatment and
when he says incomparable, there's not many WNBA bigs that are dunking like her. So maybe that's what he means.
Showed at a show trial in Russia with characteristic grit and incredible dignity. She represents the best America, best about America. It is across the board, everything about her.
She represents the best that America, the best of America across the board. This is the Brittney Griner. This is it. This is the best. This is Americanism right here. When I think of America, when I salute the flag, when I pledge allegiance to the flag, when I wear red, white, and blue on the 4th of July, and I am thinking about all of the ways in which I love my country, Brittney Griner is the first thing that comes to mind. I don't know about you guys. But I'm like, oh, thank you for the brave people that have fought for our country's freedoms, because it allows us to have pot-smoking WNBA players. This is really the best that America has to offer. It really is. And that is an extremely depressing narrative about this.
Okay, so another perspective, another angle of it is the fact that they had Viktor Bout, whatever his name is, for a while now. They had him for 14 years on a 25-year sentence. They've had Marines in there for God knows however long, but they couldn't get the trade done forever. They weren't budging on the Marines that they have in Russia. So they did what they can. I look at this as much as people have other contrary opinions on it, as well as Candace Owens, this is still a W for the Biden administration. I expected her to be in Russia in that penal colony for a lot longer. And when they spoke about, oh, she's in a penal colony, she's suffering, blah, 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 that was Russia trying to sell America the grief and the pain and the emotional distress that she's dealing with, to make people emotional and give an outrage so they have leverage in the deal. But they wanted to do the deal with Brittney Griner from the start. That's why they got her. They wanted Viktor Bout back, but they were not giving no U.S. Marines. And the proof is in the pudding. If they were going to do it, they would have done it a long time ago. Let's get back into what she's saying, though, because she's making some good points here. But at the end of the day,
things today, but it's an honest.
You got to understand that she's a staunch Republican. She's going to give a Republican stance regardless of anything Biden does, because I'm not a Biden guy. I don't fuck with Biden at all. But Biden has done some good things foreign relations wise. And even this, we got to give him this. This is something. Maybe small to some people, but it's something. You got an American citizen back. She could have been suffering. So it is what it is.
Narrative. I really do believe that the left sees this as a win, that they care so much about how they feel on the inside that they would be willing to put our country at danger. They would trade anybody to protect a lesbian pot-smoking basketball player that hates America. Like, that's exactly.
I don't look at it that way. I see her as a black American. And regardless if she's a lesbian, she smokes weed, whatever her activity is, she still does things that, like, it's not illegal to be a lesbian in America. It's not illegal in many states to smoke weed. So not a big deal to me. It is what it is.
What left's all about.
It's not even illegal to protest the flag. It's not illegal to take a knee. It's American. It's upholding the freedoms, whether you like it or not.
And unfortunately, what this really represents is the decline of the West. That's the truth. The West is declining. We are in a steep decline right now because we have leaders that can look you in the eye and tell you that people like Brittney Griner are the best that they have to offer. So yes, Putin is laughing, because he should be laughing.
He is, though.
It's just most ridiculous trading ever in the history of the world. It's like trading LeBron James for Danny DeVito. I like Danny DeVito. I like Danny DeVito's movies, but I don't think that the Lakers should take him to play basketball because it's a ridiculous trade. Because he doesn't even play basketball. In the realm of politics, Brittney Griner being swapped for an arms dealer makes entirely no sense. It makes the kind of no sense like swapping LeBron James for Danny DeVito for a basketball team would make. It would be like swapping Pokemon cards, and someone's like, hey, I got Pikachu, and then you come back at them and you're like, okay, I have Arthur the Aardvark. What? But that's not even a Pokemon. We even say it doesn't matter because it's a trade. It's the worst trade possibly ever. Thank you so much for being.
All right, so this is ESPN. We're going to play the audio from ESPN. I'm probably going to get swarmed with copyrights if I play the video, so we're not going to do that. Tim Simmons says, I agree, but she made it clear she don't like America, then begged for their help. LOL. Isn't that American, though? All right, let's get into the ESPN take. Hold on.
With us this morning. Guys, incredible news.
Tim Simmons also said, I think they left her there for so long because she actually tried to play for the Russian team.
Stephen A., I'll start with you. Your reaction.
Relief. Very, very happy for Brittney Griner and her wife Sherelle and the whole family, the WNBA community, the NBA community, anybody associated with the game of basketball.
Now, people were also calling for, I'm terrible with names today. I don't know what's going on with me. I'm spacing out on all the names. The girl from ESPN, the black light-skinned girl, Malika Andrews, there we go. People were calling for her to list out everything that Brittney Griner's ever done, like she has a domestic history with her and her wife or girlfriend. They wanted her to treat her the same way she treated black men by bringing up their criminal history for no reason. But let's get, oh shit, the chat's not working on the screen. When did that happen? Wasn't it there before? Huh. Hold on.
Everyone knows what Brittney Griner has meant to the game. And as an American citizen, obviously, we're happy to see her home. Obviously, we'd be remiss in neglecting to mention the importance of Paul Whelan ultimately coming home. His brother, I saw his brother David Whelan on CNN this morning. Class exemplified, recognizing the importance and the relief that we should all feel the fact that Brittney Griner has been released. Nevertheless, still hoping and praying that his brother ultimately, who's been detained in Russia for the last 4 years, would ultimately get released. But what it comes down to is that she's home. Pressure was brought to bear. The United States obviously had been working behind the scenes for quite a long time. The Biden administration is to be applauded in all of this because they put forth their due diligence. And it's important to recognize the fact that while we bring up Brittney Griner, we also bring up Paul Whelan from this perspective. The Biden administration said that they worked diligently and they pushed to try to get him released as well. And Russia was steadfast in their position that the only person that they were going to release at this particular moment in time was Brittney Griner. They didn't forget about anybody else.
This is what I'm talking about. The Paul Whelan supporters and the other people that were supporting the troops wanted them to get traded instead of Brittney Griner. They weren't having that. Russia was not bending at all. One more time, Stephen A. broke this down.
And Russia bring up Brittney Griner. We also bring up Paul Whelan from this perspective. The Biden administration said that they worked diligently and they pushed to try to get him released as well. And Russia was steadfast in their position that the only person that they were going to release at this particular moment in time was Brittney Griner. They didn't forget about anybody else. They tried to get other Americans to come home as well. But Russia. And
I'm sure they targeted her and used her as leverage. Let's be real. LGBTQ outrage, they used that. That's why she was arrested for the smallest, most insignificant amount of kush in a cartridge. She shouldn't have had it there anyway. She shouldn't have, but it wasn't something that they would have targeted her for before because she's been doing that. Let's keep it a stack. She's been in Russia. She's been playing overseas.
She refused to relent in that regard. So it was either Brittney Griner or nothing. And they made the wise decision of making sure that they got her home. So I'm incredibly happy for her family, the whole basketball community at large. But as Sherelle pointed out during her press conference this morning, as the Biden administration, Joe Biden himself pointed out, there's still work to be done to help others. And Brittney Griner is going to play a pivotal role in trying to assist in that regard. And I think that she and her loved ones should be applauded for that as well.
I mean, obviously, super excited. A lot of texts this morning. 293 something days.
Yeah.
Too long. For the things that go on. I mean, I played 7 years in Russia. So.
All right. So this is Becky Hammond speaking. She's a coach in the WNBA.
To have her back, but to kind of understand the conditions and kind of Russian mentality when you're over there. I can't imagine how that hug is going to feel. Because even when you're just playing basketball overseas, to get back and just set foot on American soil, and now for Brittney to be able to do that, our whole WNBA family, it's a sisterhood, brotherhood, and anybody, like you said, involved in the game of basketball has to be.
Yeah. All right, a couple minutes left in this reaction. Chat, do you think that they should have left her there? It's because it was really Brittney Griner or nothing. Leave a 1 in the chat if you think that this was a mistake. It was a lopsided trade and they should have left her there. 1's in the chat. 2 in the chat if you think that they just did what they could do. They did the best of what they could do, and it is what it is. 2's in the chat for that outcome. 1's in the chat for they should have left the bitch there. I said bit. Let's get it.
Exuberant this morning. And, we've always been very active, and she's going to be very active in helping others.
Yo, honestly, I fucked with the chat's honesty. JR808TV with the 1, Tim Simmons with the 1, Lady Hotep with the 2. See, the only woman in the chat left the 2. You niggas ain't shit. You just wanted to leave her there, huh? Y'all are cold. Y'all are ruthless. But then again, he is a ruthless arms dealer who caused a lot of corruption and a lot of fuckery in Africa. I listen to a lot of these videos on YouTube, a lot of the travel videos, and you listen to a lot of African citizens say there's a lot of corruption in said country that they're in, whether it be like Namibia or like whatever African country, because I watch a lot of these documentaries and things. They say a lot of the corruption comes from them just bringing in a lot of guns, and then the people at the top stay rich. They don't facilitate any of the natural resources that the country has making money off. They're not distributing it down to the bottom. They're staying super rich and they're just funneling guns. And people like this Russian arms dealer is somebody that is played a pivotal role in it. Where are we at? 1106. He played a pivotal role in it. So letting him back out is something that may be detrimental to the world because he has a large impact. So everybody's leaving the 1s here. Let's go. There's a movie after him. So let me count the 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a repeat. 5, 6. 6 1s. 1, 2. Yikes. All right, let's read some of these comments. Let me get back to where we at. You know what? I'm going to play it out a little bit. We have a few minutes left. And then I'm going to read some of the comments, interact with y'all, open up the call lines for y'all. So if y'all want to speak your piece, you can. Make sure you hit that like button upon entry. Let's get it.
Because obviously you played in Russia, and if I remember correctly, you became a Russian citizen in 2008. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Talk to us about what you were feeling as this whole ordeal was unfolding, Coach, from the perspective of she's over there. Because I'm asking that question in this regard, and Molly can confirm that I was a bit reluctant to talk about it because I know folks said we tried the quiet route. Now it's about bringing noise and putting a spotlight and putting attention on it. And all I was thinking was, this is Vladimir Putin we talking about here. The more attention you bring, we don't know what this man will do. We don't know what their government would do. As somebody that's obviously incredibly familiar with Russia and how they do things, what was going on through your mind at that particular moment in time?
Well, when the news first broke, it's just super upsetting. Obviously, yes. The fact that an athlete can be snatched like that, really for nothing. Yeah. And when you see kind of the government and even their police and how they work, there's a lot of stuff going on. I'm like that you would never think of in here. At least I wouldn't. Approaching a cop, that just is natural over there. It's every day, to get out of a speeding ticket. You put, I mean, that's just the way it rolls. So the conditions obviously came to mind. A Russian prison has to be one of the worst places on earth. So there was that aspect, but also that I was a little bit.
Now, I would like to hear the conditions that she was actually in. I would like to hear a statement from Brittney Griner. I'm pretty sure she's probably going to speak up sometime in the upcoming future about what happened to her and the conditions she was living in prison. So I want to hear what exactly, because they're selling it as something, but I want to know exactly what it was.
Disheartened, just about because it's been such a great experience for most of us over there. And the fact that they would go to these lengths. Now, granted, and here's the thing when you're dealing with somebody like Putin. He's not playing by anybody's rules. Right. He got his own set of rules. Yeah. And so when you have somebody, our side, playing by a set of rules, and then somebody who plays by no rules, it's hard to get the deals done because you don't know what they're capable of. I mean, he just invaded, a whole country.
Of course.
He does not
and
care.
And the terror and the monstrosity that's taken place there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean,
and you can become a political pawn like this.
And she did.
Yeah.
That's all this was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was a political move by him. He snatched the most highest profile person that he could over there.
Yeah.
She's easy to spot over there, and it was heartbreaking. Yeah. And especially since I had played there, Sue Bird, Diana, I mean, Tina, you could go down the list of women's players that have played there and had really good experiences. Yeah. The Russian people took us in and took really great care of us. And then something like this happens and it sends, just shivers down your spine that even that, when they were saying they were making phone calls and trying to get, I'm like, the fact that her club couldn't get her out, because your club can pretty much get you out of anything over there. Yeah. So the fact that her club, her local government, couldn't get her out, told me right away this is coming from the top.
Yeah, this isn't even about her.
Yeah, this is a huge problem because typically, like I said, you can make a phone call over there and you can get it done.
This is facts.
But thank God.
Yeah, that ain't no damn lie.
Coming home.
She's coming home.
That's the absolute facts, what she said. It was a move up top because when LiAngelo Ball got arrested in China, China don't play that shit. Stealing Louis Vuitton glasses in China, you can actually end up like that's something that's actually worth the time in China. You can get fucked up in there for doing some shit like that. LiAngelo Ball got caught. LeVar Ball tried to make some calls. It seemed kind of fruitless at first. Donald Trump allegedly got involved. LeVar Ball denies it to this day, but they got him out. The club that was playing down there, they had enough pull to get him out. But this was definitely a plan to try to get Viktor Bout back. He had 5 years left, they said. That's all the reports say. He has 5 years left. So he was returning anyway. He's not that old. He wasn't going to croak and die in jail of old age. So he was coming back regardless. But they expedited the process. And I do not wish jail on anybody. So Brittney Griner coming back home, it is what it is. That's a W for me. Even though they let the guy out, it is what it is, man. Lady Hotep says Trump did help get him out. That's what I thought he helped get him out, but I don't know why LeVar Ball was acting ungrateful and moving in certain ways, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. That's ancient history. We cover a lot of shit, so sometimes things slip through the cracks and can't remember them right. But breaking news while we're doing this, we're gonna get right back into this. Yeah, make sure y'all hit the like button when you get in here. R. Kelly, this motherfucker, hold up. This guy, put this on the screen real quick. This guy is in jail right now on those pedo charges. The man dropped an album yesterday called I Admit It. He has 3 songs, part 1 through 3. I have not heard any of it. I don't know if I'm actually going to listen to any of this. But if it's fire and everybody's talking about it and it's actually lit, then I might have to. I might have to hear it. I might have to hear what he's talking about. It is what it is. Listen, y'all, I can get away with it. I'm media. I need to cover it. I gotta tell you. I need to tell y'all what he said. You know what I mean? So I can get away with it. I'm not endorsing a pedo. I'm not doing that. But he admits it, yo. Yo, that's crazy. For him to put out a song after being imprisoned, or not even a song, a full fucking album, full goddamn album. Hold on, let me see how much tracks is on there. This is not the whole thing. 13-song album, 56 minutes. Oh, this shit's long as hell. Pause. He's probably making them fit 5 to 12-minute songs. You know R. Kelly be rambling sometimes in the end of them songs. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, before we wrap this up, we have a lot to cover. My brain's all over the place because we have a lot to cover. Y'all going to see a lot of live streams and a lot of videos coming out within the next few days. We have a lot to cover here. So my mind's all over the place. I don't think that Candace Owens deserved getting cooked over this. It's a valid opinion. It is a valid opinion that she has. Right here. Let me read this one more time. Trading a top Russian arms dealer for a pot-smoking female basketball player is peak Western leftist philosophy. Incomprehensibly stupid from a political standpoint. But as long as it makes people feel warm and fuzzy, why not? From a political standpoint, I get it. From the basketball standpoint, they're like, oh, we got a basketball player home. Everybody's happy that they have one of theirs home. From a black community standpoint, it's like, yeah, we have one of our black Americans home. They're not in Russia being imprisoned. But from a political standpoint, I get Candace Owens' point here. And the Shade Room posted this picture. They used the most unfavorable picture of Candace Owens. Like, look at this picture. They used this. He looks better in video than that. They try to play her. It is what it is. We're going to wrap this up. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We have a lot more to speak about. A lot more to cover. Let's get it. Yeah.